So, when working inside of Capture One, sometimes you want to have different versions of the same image. So, for our purposes today, let's take a look at this image here. So, as you guys can see, that this image here has been cropped and it looks presently like this, but I might want to do something else with this image. I might want to use it instead as a color image, or I might want to go in and do maybe like a black and white toned. So I have a couple of different ways of, or well, actually I have two ways of creating variants, and they're rather simple. You just basically go in and do a right click on the image. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but as you guys look at the images on the over here on the side panel, you guys can see that the images themselves end up here showing what the whole image looks like with where the crop is applied. But when you're seeing it in the browser here in the middle, you actually, or the viewer, you actually see the actual image as it's been processed or cropped. So when I do a right click on here and pop up and say I want to do a variant, I have two versions of doing a variant. If I wanted to go back to the original image before it was processed, I could just do new variant, and that goes in and creates a variant without any of the processing applied, back to basically as shot, which allows me to start over again and do other things to this. I can also go in back to this one, which has been processed, and now I could go in and do a clone variant, would give me an exact duplicate of the same shot as a clone, and this allows me to maybe process it a tad bit different, or maybe color tone it a little bit to make it look like it's been black and white toned to do a duotone. So very powerful functional feature inside of the program. So very cool. And that's basically variants. Now, just as a final note, I do a lot of variants when I'm processing images because I get to a certain point where I really like it. Then I'll duplicate exactly where I got to, and then I will just keep working on it to go another direction, and then that way I can go back to the previous one. Yes, you can save history states inside of and do snapshots inside of Lightroom, but for me, I like to have the actual physical variant instead, because then that way I don't go back to the snapshot and then not have the other original way I processed it. So that's just my workflow. All right, there we have it.